Hello everyone. In yesterday's session, I told you I would send out a video demonstrating the highlighting tools that I like to use to help me answer my thought question. So here we go. For this week's article, Spending Money to Save Money, this is the thought question that you have to answer in essay form. Explain how schools get the money they need to operate and what they use the money for. How are some of the schools planning to cut costs? Support your response with information from the lesson. So I want to use my highlighting tools to help me break down this question and make sure that I'm looking for the right answers when I read the article. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this again. Explain how schools get the money they need to operate. Okay, that's the first thing I'm going to look for. I want to look while I read the article on how schools get their money. So I'm going to highlight how schools get the money, and I'm going to click on the blue. Now I'm going to keep reading. And what they use the money for. Okay, what they use the money for, that's another thing I'm going to look for. So let me highlight that and make that yellow. How are some schools planning to cut costs? All right, how are they planning to cut costs? I'm going to highlight that and make that green. After that, it says support your response with information from the lesson, which we always do, so we don't need to highlight that. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this screen so that I have this thought question with the colors over to the side as I'm reading the article. And let's go to the article and I'll give you a little example. So here's our article, and at that point I want to go ahead and read through this entire article, but I'm going to start right here at the second paragraph. So let me show you what I would do. School officials know just where they'll get the money from the federal government. Well, now doesn't that answer one of our questions? That answers how schools get the money. So I would go ahead and highlight this and make this blue. Okay, let me jump down here to the bottom. The idea is that funding improvement projects will create jobs and stimulate the weak economy. Public school officials are hoping they can use some of the stimulus money to make energy upgrades. Doesn't this answer how they will use them, or what they will use the money for? To make energy upgrades. And I will highlight that yellow. Okay, if we keep this going through the entire article, at the very end we're going to have a lot of highlights and we're going to know which questions are answered. Then when we go back to the thought question, we can go ahead and click right here. It's going to show us all of our highlights and what colors they are up here, and we can go ahead and write out a paragraph response including all of the evidence from the text and answering all of the questions. Please remember that I grade these thought questions based on how you addressed each of the questions that it asks. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Have a great day.